Happening now, we break down new efforts to combat blighted homes here in Jamestown. Plus, we're hearing from our city's police chief about the accreditation awarded to the department's SWAT team.
Well, the clouds are going to start to increase this afternoon, but those temperatures are going to go down, down, down. We'll talk about where they're headed as the news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Leaders in Jamestown are working to roll out new tools to combat blighted properties around town. Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. The City of Jamestown Director of Development, Crystal Surdick, provided an update during last night's City Council meeting on her office's plan to combat property problems around the area. She says there are several efforts in the works, including hiring 2 new code enforcement officers. These new positions, Surdick explains, will help her staff speed up responding to complaints. Currently, she says her department is very busy trying to keep up with the current workload. Now, as for new tools to combat issues surrounding zombie properties and absentee landlords, Surdick says there are several efforts unfolding behind the scenes right now.
I'm developing some new ordinances and trying to add more tools to our toolbox when it comes to how we can make ourselves more efficient, more effective, and to, not only build capacity in a way of adding staff, but streamlining some of our policies and procedures.
Now, earlier this year, the municipality announced a new effort to take legal action against property owners who let their homes fall into disrepair. In the end, officials hope to turn these locations into prospective owner-occupied homes. Well, the Jamestown Police Department SWAT team is receiving recognition for their training and high standards. Last month, the New York State Department of Criminal Justice Services announced the part-time Special Weapons and Tactics Unit their certification. Community Resource Officer Matt Reinhard helped lead the charge to apply for this accreditation, reviewing over 150 pages of certifications and training records. Jamestown Police Chief Tim Jackson says his unit is only one of 27 teams in the state to meet the standards. Led by Commander Robert Ward, the chief says the SWAT team is a great asset for the city, responding to high-risk situations like active shooter and barricaded suspect calls.
No, it's just a great asset to have. It shows their, like I said, their work ethic, and they're willing to push as far as possible to become better. A lot of personal sacrifices, so it says a lot for the team.
Currently, Jackson says his department is looking to fill one more position on the team of 14. Officers within the department can apply. They must attend a basic school and meet standards of physical athleticism as well. Well, back and forth, the federal vaccine mandate debate continues. Britt Conway is checking on the latest on this legal battle which is brewing right now.
Back.
It is the government's job to keep its nation safe.
And forth.
It may not be mandated by the President of the United States unilaterally.
Or can it? The Biden administration has mandated millions of workers get vaccinated against COVID-19 by January 4th, but pushback is building. More than half of U.S. states are suing the administration now, including Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, and Utah, along with a number of businesses who asked the court to block the mandate, saying it constituted federal overreach and risked negatively impacting the workforce. A federal appeals court agreed, temporarily blocking the mandate over the weekend. But the Department of Justice wants it lifted, saying these states and businesses haven't shown that their claimed injuries outweigh the harm of staying a standard that will save thousands of lives and prevent hundreds of thousands of hospitalizations. The White House is confident in its legal authority here.
If OSHA can tell people to wear a hard hat on the job, right, to be careful on chemicals, it can put in place these simple measures to keep our workers safe.
The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals promises to expedite the case, but there's been no clarification on whether this would have a nationwide effect. I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Britt, thank you. Here in New York, we saw a similar legal bout over the state's vaccine mandate for healthcare workers this time last month. Well, Pennsylvania school districts will be allowed to modify or end mask mandates for K through 12 students come January. The state's governor's office announced the news yesterday, saying it is time to prepare for a transition back to a more normal setting. The Democratic governor said that on January 17th, he expects to turn over decisions about masking to local school officials. The state's universal masking requirement for early learning programs and child care facilities will remain in effect. His administration imposed a statewide mandate in early September amid a surge in infections and hospitalizations from the highly contagious Delta variant of coronavirus. The decision to end the statewide masking order comes days after federal officials approved the COVID-19 vaccine for younger children. Well, the merger between Tops Markets and Price Chopper Market 32 is now complete. It comes after the finish of a regulatory review process and after the approval from the Federal Trade Commission. Both companies will be managed locally by existing leaders and keep their names, but they will be owned and overseen by a parent company, Northeast Grocery, Inc. Scott Grimmett is the current president and CEO of Price Chopper Market 32, and he'll lead the new parent company. He will also serve on its board of directors, as well as Frank Kiersey, the former Tops Markets chairman and CEO. Certainly one of the biggest grocery providers in our area. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comment section down below. We appreciate you joining us here for WNY News Now on Facebook Live and WNYNewsNow.com. And welcome to those of you who are watching us on channel 716 on Roku as well. It's great to see Tracy, good to see Crystal, Peggy, Amy, and David. Hopefully you all are having a great day. We appreciate you tuning in. Well, now let's get a first check of our weather forecast. That's where we find chief forecaster Dakota Hunter. Hello, Dakota.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. And kind of feels like the week is kind of like chugging along here. But, man, it's still going to be a nice day out there for much of the afternoon. Over Findlay Lake shows you the basically just mostly sunny skies out there, a few clouds moving on in. And we're going to see the clouds thickening up through the afternoon today. But the good news is we should stay mainly dry. Stress on the word mainly. There could be an isolated shower or, across the southern tier today. So you'll see on the satellite and radar composite, again, no really rain here showing up. But again, notice the clouds starting to come in here. And we're going to see the clouds thickening up once again through the afternoon. 65 was the high yesterday. Started the day at 42. Just 1 year ago, we broke the record high. 72, and the record low was 10 set back in 1991. So through the afternoon today, partly cloudy, clouds increase through the afternoon. There will be a spotty shower mainly across the central to northern portion of the southern tier. That looks like the best shot for some of those rain showers. 55 to 62 today with a southwest wind. Now tomorrow still should be an overall nice day, but then temperatures go downhill and we may see some white flakes by the weekend. We'll talk about it in detail with that 7-day later on in the show, Justin.
All right, Dakota. I know you'll have all the info we need to know coming up in about 10 minutes. Thank you, sir. A Jamestown resident is charged for allegedly driving while intoxicated following a car deer accident in Gary this week. New York State Police say troopers responded to Route 60 in Gary for the crash on Monday. After allegedly failing several standardized field sobriety tests, 22-year-old Jordan Olds was taken into custody and transported to the state police barracks in Jamestown. While there for processing, troopers say Old provided a breath sample of .17. He was then processed, issued tickets, and released. Well, a new Penn State study suggests COVID-19 may be more widespread among deer populations, and it suggests that rates of transmission have increased as the pandemic drags on. The news comes with deer season starting in just weeks here. Researchers studied nearly 300 deer in Iowa, collecting samples from the start of the pandemic until early this year. Overall, they found that a third of the deer carried the virus that leads to COVID-19. But over the last month and a half, 80% of the deer had the virus, showing it spread amongst the population. Still, they say local hunters don't need to worry too much. Experts recommend typical safety procedures, and local deer processors say to always be cautious when working with wild game.
All the guys wear gloves, of course, as far as that goes. There's a lot of different things they could be carrying as far as that goes. But that's number one would be protect your hands, because you're using your hands all the time.
Now, potentially bigger problems loom down the road, however. Questions still remain about COVID's effect on deer, and we don't know yet if the virus could survive in the animal, mutate, and then reinfect people. Well, New York's Gaming Commission has picked 9 operators, including DraftKings and FanDuel Sportsbook, to offer mobile sports betting, opening up what is anticipated to be a highly lucrative market, possibly in time for the Super Bowl. State elected officials in April had passed approval for mobile sports betting, and a call for proposals had been issued over the summer. At this time of approval, officials estimated that allowing online betting could bring in up to $500 million in tax revenue annually. Mobile betting operators will have to pay 51% of their revenue to the state, but even with that, the anticipation for being able to operate in New York has been high, given the size of the state's population, income levels, and the number of sports teams we have. The operators will have to put their servers for mobile sports betting at one of the state's 4 licensed casinos, which previously were the only 4 places people could go to make bets on sports. Once the servers are in place, mobile betting can get underway. Well, coming up, what former president will be in our region today? And later, celebrating the history of Christmas, one exhibit at a time. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
What could you lose in a home fire? Your possessions? Your home? Your memories? Don't let your world go up in smoke. Make sure you have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones, because fire is everyone's fight.
This message was brought to you by the Jamestown Fire Department and the Chautauqua Safety Village.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvanna Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Remember when you were a kid, huddled around the television waiting for your school to close? Well, we don't get snow days. When winter weather hits, count on the First Defense Weather Team for a look into the future where the snow is headed next. Live radar showing you the scope of the storm, and real-time reports from the field. So when it matters most, stay with First Defense Weather.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now. You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Police have charged a Pennsylvania woman with homicide for poisoning her 11-year-old child. 62-year-old Mary Daly was taken into custody and placed in the Crawford County Prison yesterday. The investigation started in September when troopers were notified that the child's adoptive mother, who is Daly, found the 11-year-old dead in his bed at a residence in East Fairfield Township. Well, after days after a deadly tragedy claimed the lives of at least 8 Astroworld concert goers and injured several others, the first lawsuit has been filed against rapper Travis Scott and concert organizer Live Nation Entertainment. This as more details emerge about the warning signs and possible missed signals and what might have been done to stop the crowd surge. Chris Wynn has the latest on the criminal investigation now underway.
In Houston, Astroworld Festival goers describe the moments leading up to a crowd surge that left at least 8 people dead and dozens more hurt.
You couldn't control where you were going.
The crowd of 50,000 packed tightly in places as headliner Travis Scott began his set, with many crushed and trampled over as waves of people moved toward the stage.
My focus right now, and the focus of others in this city, to make sure that the families of those who have lost loved ones, that their needs are being met.
Officials say Scott continued to play for about 30 minutes after the concert was declared a mass casualty event, and they're investigating what he knew and when. In a statement, Scott said he stopped his show, quote, anytime he realized a problem. A lawsuit has now been filed against the rapper, the companies that organized the event, and others claiming they put profits over safety. CNN has reached out to Scott for comment.
If the crowd is in distress and that can be identified by an experienced spotter, that needs to be communicated, and you've only got minutes then to save lives.
In a statement, Live Nation said in part, heartbroken for those lost and impacted at Astroworld. We will continue working to provide as much information and assistance as possible to the local authorities as they investigate the situation. The criminal investigation into the deadly crowd surge could take weeks as concert goers process the trauma.
Now that I'm recollecting, just the fact that I was breathing the same air that some people took their last breaths is just not even real.
I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
Chris, thank you. Well, the Jefferson Education Society's Global Summit is now underway in Erie, and today it'll feature a keynote speaker, former President George W. Bush. As Erie News Now's Keelan Barron reports, several people are excited for this event.
The COVID-19 pandemic caused the annual Global Summit event to be canceled last year. But this year is back with numerous speakers.
We're having very important discussions, especially discussions that impact the Erie community and Erie residents.
The event started on systemic issues in legal affairs. Tomorrow, the former President George W. Bush will speak on his presidency and pressing issues that's seen today. Robert Engler of Erie is skeptical on what the former president has to say.
The world right now is in such chaos. We need something to be done positive instead of all this negativity that's going on.
For the earlier events that happened this week in this year's Global Summit, they hosted it here in Jefferson Hall. But since the former President George W. Bush was bringing such a big turnout, they moved the event from Jefferson Hall over to the Bayfront Convention Center.
So it's a good place for the community to come together and learn something new.
As they prepare, Gus Pine, General Manager of Bayfront Convention Center, says security will be tight.
Folks are going to go through magnetometers, so leave most metal objects we request leave in the vehicle. Small clutches are fine, no large purses. Leaving all that in the car will allow things to go smoothly.
Doors open at 5:30 and isn't allowing early entrance. You can still purchase your ticket until midnight. If interested, you can visit the website below. Keelan Barron, Erie News Now.
Keelan, thank you. Well, for the first time in nearly 100 years, people are laying flowers in front of the unknown soldier at Arlington National Cemetery. This group of members of the Crow Nation were the first visitors to approach the shrine. The tomb has been the final resting place for one of the Americans' unidentified service members from World War I since November 11, 1921. Remains of 2 other unknowns were added in later years. The plaza is opening to the public as part of a centennial commemoration. For 2 days, the public can walk the tomb and lay flowers. Since 1948, that access has been exclusively reserved for centennials of the 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment, known as the Old Guards, and presidents as well. Certainly, what a cool thing to do. If I could, I'd hop on a plane or heck, make the 9-hour drive to D.C. right now. Let us know what you think about this story and more in the comment section down below. And Dakota, it was probably about a month ago now, I was part of a a gathering of veterans here in Chautauqua County for a gala that rose money for the Dwyer Group, a group dedicated to trying to help connect vets locally with peer services to try to combat mental health issues within that community. And in their group and in their meeting and the gala itself, the dinner, they had an actual vet from the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier who was in charge of coordinating and protecting that speak, and he went at length for many personal stories that he had, and it's really, really incredible. In fact, I believe he was from Jamestown, a graduate of JHS, and it was really great to hear from him firsthand. And a lot of people, when you go to DC, there's so much to see, but that's definitely got to be one on the list for many people, because you think about it, the dedication that these brave men and women have, and then to serve and be unidentified, where there are families out there who still don't have answers, right? You have POWs, but you have this body, and it's really incredible that they dedicated such a space for them. And God bless those who are involved with that. It really is great. And one thing that I think a lot of people are looking forward to here locally, of course, is our weather forecast. And this week, if you didn't know it, you'd think this was like, I talked about this yesterday, but like that second spring that we've been having out there. I'll take it, but I know all good things must come to an end, though.
Yes, all good things must come to an end, but I wanted to rewind to last year at this date.
Okay.
We had a record buster. We talked about this during First Weather, and I think it's interesting to kind of look back on this, because the record, we managed 72 degrees on this day 1 year ago. 2020 was a strange year in many ways, and we had record busters throughout the year of 2020, and today was one of them. Well, not today, but this date 1 year ago. I want to clarify
today
that.
in history.
So, yes, today in history. 72 degrees last year. That's the new record high for this date. We're not going to get close to that this year, but man, it's still going to be somewhat mild out there. So we're mild until we're not. And you'll see here, temperatures are going to stay pretty mild. The average this time of the year is around 53. So again, we will start to see at least some average temperatures maybe around on tomorrow, but we'll shoot back up into 60. But look at where the temperatures go over the weekend. 40 on Saturday. Some spots are going to struggle to hit that 40. That's a struggling 40, by the way. I think most spots, especially inland, are going to stay in the upper 30s. So live look downtown from the HD News Now cam shows you sun and clouds, 57, southwest wind to 6. So that southerly wind is why it's warmer. We talk about it all the time. Southerly wind always is your best friend to warm you up. So here's what's happening here. We have a front that's moving through. This is a weak front. So this front actually is going to start to shift our wind direction from the south mainly to the north and northwest. So that will bring in a little bit of cooler air. And then also this low pressure over Chicago is also going to help to bring us maybe a few rain showers as well today. So let's show you the newest run of future scan here. We should stay dry across much of the area, but notice a couple spotty showers popping up here. So again, there could be at least an isolated shower somewhere across the southern tier today. A few more showers overnight. That clears out for tomorrow. Tomorrow should be partly to mostly sunny. I do think we'll see more sun later in the day as we go through the day on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we're watching because there could be some strong wind gusts on Thursday. In fact, here's the forecast wind gusts for Thursday at midnight, and you'll see here some of these forecast wind gusts by 3 in the afternoon, maybe around 30 to 35 miles an hour, so that's still strong, but we're going to watch mainly Thursday evening and into Thursday night. The wind gusts could be 40 to 50 miles an hour. Now, there's no wind advisory or high wind warning yet. We'll see what the Weather Service does with this. This is going into Thursday night and into Friday morning. We'll see if these verify, and we'll also do with that, and of course we'll keep you updated should any watches or warnings be issued. Another good day today, possibly getting to around 60 in some spots today, but the clouds will increase through the afternoon. Now the future is up on the screen. 54 tomorrow, Veterans Day, looking nice, partly to mostly sunny, and 60 as the Red Raiders play for the Section 6 championship up in Buffalo, looking nice. 53, maybe a spotty shower, and the temperatures just go down a hill for the weekend. Maybe some accumulating snow sometime next week. We'll keep you updated on that. We'll take a break. Be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing. After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this. You will find something.
You will find something new.
It's not just what we say, it's what we do.
Local first. It isn't just our slogan. It's our mindset every single day. So whether you're watching our daily live streams or staying up to date with reports on our website and mobile app, you'll always see the same attention to detail from reporters who passionately care about our community, who have one goal in mind: to always put the facts first.
For me, it's more than just getting the forecast right. What I love the most about my job is that I come into work every day to help break down the weather, letting people know how this is going to impact their day. We take pride that First Defense Weather is the only local weather team in the Southern Tier. We don't just copy and paste our weather from outside sources. Every part of our forecast is handmade right here in-house, something our team really takes pride in.
What matters to you matters to us. Every story, every day. WNY News Now, where coverage comes first. You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
A local history center is getting ready to spread some holiday cheer. Our Alana Wingate explains.
The Fenton History Center is hosting a Christmas market throughout the mansion on Saturday, November 13th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. As curator Victoria Parker tells us, the historical institution originally introduced this event to the community back in 2019, although due to the pandemic, they were unable to carry on.
We're excited to be able to bring it back this year. It's a holiday craft show throughout the Fenton mansion. All items on sale will be either handmade or vintage Christmas.
The historian says the holiday market is just a teaser of what's to come.
The full holiday exhibit opens on Black Friday, November 26th. This year's theme is Christmas at Santa's Workshop. So we're going to transform the Fenton History Center into the North Pole.
While the Fenton History Center is excited to spread some holiday cheer, they can't help but slip in a history lesson or two.
We also cover some of the other holidays that take place in December. Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Las Posadas. And so we just want you to come learn about the history of Christmas, and every year we try to highlight a different aspect.
The Fenton's holiday exhibit will begin November 26th and run until January 6th. The holiday craft show will take place on Saturday. Admissions cost $2. You will also have the opportunity to shop at the craft and in the Fenton's History Gift Shop. Alana Wingate, WNY News Now.
All right, Alana, thank you. What a great way to celebrate the holiday. And I think it's cool that you can get your hands on some like actual historical crafted items. It's really awesome. And I know that's really been a big trend. Have you ever seen that show on the History Channel, Dakota, American Pickers?
Yes.
It's been going on for,
my dad used to watch it. Yep.
Yeah, I love it. Like, going out and finding some of these finds and then, bringing them to a craft show like this. And what better place to have a craft show than a museum? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, you'll never know what you'll find out there. It's like, I think the one thing, and I can understand there are some questions about whether or not those shows are actually real or not.
Right.
But some of it is true in the fact that you'll never know what people have that they've found and that they've collected. Yeah. And maybe.
A lot of times it's really awesome because you find something, and I've noticed they will donate it to museums. So if it's something of extreme historical significance, and I know the Fenton does a really good job. They almost have like their own picker, so to speak, where people will bring them things, old chairs, or just as an example, So it's really cool. I can't wait to see what their Christmas display will look like. We will be sure to provide an update once that comes out.
Hopefully there's an old weather station or an old Apple computer or something in there. That'd be right up my alley.
I know it would. That's it for us. We'll leave you with this live shot over Chautauqua Lake. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.